Yeah, they were expecting me to become like a scholar or like someone who dedicates, or which I tried doing. I try my best to dedicate most of my time into learning more about the Quran or learning a lot about that. But they expected something else from me, in which I had to pretty much break it down to them that you can live a normal life and be Muslim, right? And as time goes by, they keep also my friends, my Muslim and my non-Muslim friends are like telling you, when are you gonna tell your parents? Because there's gonna be a day when I'm praying for Fajr and I'm down in my I'm praying and I'm down, right? And I'm down in my salah and I'm doing one of the rakats, and my mother would walk in on me, or like, and since I can't lead the prayer, I'm just gonna have to continue praying, you know. There's times in which they're telling me, what if your mother catches you speaking Arabic? Obviously, I'm not Arabic, and I'm not from an Arabic-speaking country, so there was a lot of suspicion for that, you know. And I tried my best to, you know, pray when I can, pray at most when at the resources I've been provided because of Allah. And due to this, I tried my best to gain as much confidence as I can, because this was going to be a huge jump to telling my parents. And so what happens is the coronavirus hits, right? It's detrimental. It's very tough, and I'm at home with my parents, and it's been very cramped, and we've just been around all day with the family, you know. Not really much anything I can do. I had to pray home regardless. I can't go to the local mosque and I can't go to all these places. And I thought to myself, Allah's giving me the chance to tell my parents. So what happens is, there was a few days where I just so close to telling my mom, because the first person I wanted to tell was my mom. I wanted to tell my mom because that's my mother, and I love and I respect everything my mom has to say. And there was so many moments in when she was talking about the Bible, in which I spoke to her relating the Bible to my holy life, to how I feel about things. But I wasn't telling her it's the Quran. It was obviously things I was mentioning from the Quran, but she wasn't knowing it was from the Quran. She was assuming it was from the Bible, right? And a lot of these moments happen. We talk a lot about faith, and we were talking about the reasons this coronavirus hit. And one of the main things I told her about the coronavirus, but Allah only knows best, I told her that is, I believe that this coronavirus, you may disagree, but I believe that the coronavirus was something that Allah put on us due to, He only knows best as well, that He put on us due to us not being shameful, and us not praying, and us doing all these haram things, and us not supporting what we're supposed to be doing. We're not doing the things we're supposed to be doing. And it's not technically it's a punishment in a way, but it's more in a phase to reinforce our religion. And I pretty much was telling her this, and she was like, wow. Like she saw the intellect that went into that response, you know. And as time goes by, and one of the things that my local imam told me was that the biggest advice that he told me was, if you want to ease your mom into, you know, her knowing that you're Muslim, make a change, and so she notices that you changed. And that was the first thing I did. I tried, it's not even that I tried, I definitely did. Every time she needed something, I got it done. I started doing chores in my house. That's something that's like foreign language to me. I didn't do chores. I didn't cook. I didn't do all that. Once I started following my faith, and I started believing more into Islam, and I started learning more, I learned how much respect is important to Islam, you know, especially respecting your parents. There's Jannah is under our parents' feet, you know. And I started doing a lot of things, and she started seeing a lot of change. I started being more nice. I started being a little bit less more hot-headed. I tried not to argue with my mom. My mom would say something, and even if I disagreed, I tried my best to close my mouth and not say much upon things, you know. And there was a day in one of these weeks one of the weeks that's currently going on, the coronavirus, in which she was talking about the same topic of the coronavirus in the Bible and stuff like that. And I just couldn't hold it. I had to tell her. So I come up to my mom, and I was like, Mom, you're not gonna get mad at me, right? And she looks at me and she's like, why would I get mad at you? I'm like, sit down, right? Like, let's sit down and talk about this. So I sit down, and before this even happened, tears were coming down my face because I knew it was gonna go down. Like, I already went too far, like I can't turn back. So after that happens, I tell my mother, I'm like, Mom, you may not have known, but I've reverted ever since February. I don't know if you noticed the changes in my life and if this is gonna be something that might bother you, but I just wanted to tell you this because as a mother, you should know. And when I told her this, I was expecting, and I was still crying while telling her these words. It was very emotional for me. You know, I was very scared, and I was expecting her to be very mad or to like kick me out the house or do something of that nature. And I guessed wrong. You know, she was very open-hearted. She told me, she was like, son, as long as you're a good person and as long as you're following God, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you're a good person and you follow God, you can do what you want. You know, just don't defy God and do what you do. And she told me there's a lot of questions she may have, and she's always asking me a lot of questions. And if Allah allows, I always try my best to answer these questions, you know, to the best of my ability. And it was very emotional for me because after that, I gave her a hug. It was like as if a weight was lifted off my back, and Allah answered my dua that it would make it easy for my mother. I hugged my mom, and I was still crying. And right after I hugged my mom went out to go get groceries for the family. Alhamdulillah. After that, she goes to go get groceries. The first thing I did is I ran, and it was perfectly in time for one of the prayers. I think it was from Maghrib. And straight after she left, I go running into the room. I jet into the room, and this is the first time I prayed in my technically in my house, but like my house now as that my mother knows. So I ran into my room, and I I didn't even lock the door. I started weeping. I started praying. I was crying and thanking Allah. I was telling Allah, like, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for answering my prayer. This is tremendous for me. This is one of the hugest gaps I've ever. It was unspeakable. I was in the salahs and the rakats. I was doing everything crying, you know, worshiping Allah, crying, you know, messing up my Surah Fatiha and like still crying because I still thought like I know that Allah is with me at all times and He's always with you. We should take into consideration that Allah, no matter if you need it, always pray to Allah. He wants to hear your complaints. He wants to hear you pray for these things, even if it's the small things. One of the brothers was telling me to pray even if I want to, because I don't get facial hair, to pray to get facial hair. Pray for the small things, you know. And we should get closer to our families, you know. We should cherish the fact that our families know that we're Muslim, and we should cherish the fact that we have our family in our lives. We should pray with our families, especially through times of this coronavirus. We should practice praying these specific surahs. And since Ramadan is coming, we should cherish this isolation with our family and love our family more, you know. I just want to end off on that note, and I'm going to end off with a prayer. May Allah grant us wisdom. May Allah grant us the ability to pray more often. May Allah grant us the love and worship that we should provide Him. May He allow us to make it easy for our lives if we've been affected by the coronavirus. May He allow us to learn when we watch a YouTube video, and may He allow us to reciprocate all the energy and all the information we receive, you know, in this upcoming month of Ramadan. And hopefully everything goes well for you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much.